Good evening and welcome to the Monday, December 21st meeting of the Speedway Redevelopment Commission. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and first of all I'd like to thank Jennifer Miller for stepping into my vacancy last month while I was out as I had tested positive for COVID. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate that. We will move on to confirmation of quorum. We have a little bit of a mixed attendance here with our board this evening. So here in attendance to my right is member Gordon Rundle. To my left is member Barry Gardner. And at the podium is our executive director, Tim Gropp. Joining us on Zoom this evening is Jennifer Miller, our vice president, Rhonda Schwartz, our secretary, Tim Ramian, our executive assistant, and Dr. Terry Reed, representing the Speedway schools. Thank you guys, and appreciate you taking time to join us remotely this evening. This evening we don't have any public in attendance, and the meeting was notified publicly, and the opportunity was given for people to submit email questions, which it sounds like no one took advantage of that opportunity.
We received no questions.
So no public comment this evening. We always appreciate and welcome any public comment anytime anyone would like to ask any questions. Prior to this meeting, minutes for the November 12th, 2020 executive session and the November 16th, 2020 regular session were distributed. Did anyone have any edits or corrections to those meeting minutes? Hearing none, we will pass that with consent. Item number 5 this evening, the approval of claims and expenses. Tim, could you go through that for us, please?
Yeah, just a few notes here. One, I wanted the redevelopment commission members to be aware of. As part of the 5242 Crawfordsville Road property that we're looking to purchase, we did our phase 1, and while the property came up that there was nothing necessarily on site, there were a couple wrecks to the west, recognized environmental concerns. So they recommended doing some testing around the site just to make sure, as kind of a safeguard. It didn't seem like it was a huge threat, but wanted to test the area around it to make sure there was no seepage or anything from adjacent property owners. We received a don't mind me. We received a proposal from Terracon, who's doing the work, and that was for $4,900, and which was under the threshold that our president Brody was able to approve. So we did that, and per that agreement, we're just to let the redevelopment commission members know that that was approved and moving forward. They actually did the exterior drilling today, and they're meeting Mr. Ramian tomorrow for a couple indoor borings. This obviously, the results will be put into the phase 1, and I have let the owners of the property know about all this, and what this has done is caused us to be delayed into early 2021. We were hoping to close by the end of the year. It's going to delay us just a little bit, about a month. So just so you're all aware, that is out there and ongoing. Things on the claim docket, several TIF items that we've been working on. As we've mentioned before, we're prepping a lot of projects to really get moving here in early 2021. It's going to be a busy year next year. So design services, those are for the land swap parking lot as well as the Zellman parking lot. Barnes and Thornburg, we're close on the 1300 block MOU. Thought we'd have it today, did not get there, still in the attorney's hands, but we don't have any concerns, just isn't quite ready yet. And then RQAW was the proposed layouts and concepts for the Lenore property, which was approved quite a while ago. So we're really close to having those. Obviously, we're not in a huge hurry on that property, and we want to have public input as to those designs and also with the elected officials. So we'll hold off on all that until 2021 when we get a better handle of when we can gather and actually get public input a little easier next year. So the other large one on there was the demolition fee for 1330 as part of 1300 block project. Everything else is pretty standard monthly bills, and then your year-to-date operating. You'll notice one in yellow. We just noticed a gap that didn't get recorded. We're going back to the clerk treasurer's office to see. Those were the allowances for October. Were never. We just caught that they were never in there, so we're going to go back and see, make sure they were. Not a huge shift on anything. We will tighten this up at the year end and give you a year-to-date final proposal at our next meeting. Everything else is well within line of the budget. One note is we have informed Brixmore that we will be staying through at least the end of January. Town hall's coming along. I'll give you a little more of that in a little bit, but that was not accounted for in our budget or our estimates. So I just wanted the SRC to know that we will be extending that. I feel fairly good that we can get out of there by the end of January, but it'll be a busy end of January to get that accomplished. But the town council has approved the moving contract with Plains Moving, and David Rainey is setting up meetings with all of us to kind of work on that planning. And as soon as we can, we'll start moving stuff over. And the annex will be the first one to do so. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions before we accept a motion to approve the claims? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims as submitted.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims as submitted.
Anyone want to second that?
I'll second it.
Appreciate that. We'll have a roll call vote, being as we're not all here present. So Jennifer Miller?
Approve.
Rhonda Schwartz?
Approve.
Gordon Rundle?
Approved.
And Barry Gardner?
Approve.
I also approve. Accepted. And moving on to item 6, the director's report, the 2021 TIF reinstatement process.
Yeah, so I mentioned a lot of things we're going to kick off here. January is going to be a really busy month. We've been teeing up a lot of projects. So one of those that will start early in January, and I sent you all a synopsis, is we're going to be doing a restatement of our TIF districts. This doesn't reset anything. However, we've had so many amendments over the years, and part of the main part of any TIF district is that you have this economic development plan that's supposed to stay current. So that is a document that should be updated periodically. You take projects off, you add projects on, but it should reflect what your redevelopment commission is working on at that current time. That hasn't been done in a while, so we want to make sure that we're reflecting the projects we're working on, the areas we're focusing on, property acquisition, and where exactly the money's going to be allocated here. So this will kind of consolidate all those amendments into one standardized document, reset all the projects, kind of clean up the list of projects we've done, and then add new projects. And then if there are any changes, we haven't looked at anything. We don't plan on adding any property. There might be some properties we take off of the TIF. We'll kind of evaluate everything, and if we do that amendment, it basically follows the TIF amendment process. So if we change any parcels, we would have to do a tax impact study and notify all the overlapping taxing units. If we simply just update the project lists, consolidate all the language into a new document, we don't have to necessarily do that step. So we're going to sit down, evaluate it. It's something that should be done periodically, and just wanted to give you guys a heads up that we're going to hit the ground running right in January and start working on that. So we're using Barnes and Thornburg, who does a lot of our TIF work, Annalise Williams over there, and we'll be doing that on an hourly rate with them. So any questions on the TIF restatement? Okay. Project-wise, I mentioned 1300 block. We're waiting on the red line to come back to us. We had drafted the economic development agreement. It has been in Rebar's court for some time. They have the red line back. They're reviewing it internally. We don't anticipate any major sticking points. There were a few things that we put in there that we knew would have to get negotiated. We just had to draw a line somewhere, and so we did that, and we're just waiting to see what their response back to those were. We don't, as soon as we get the red line back, we'll get our team to review it and figure out what those last sticking points are, and we'll be ready to move forward. I did talk to Shelby. He is confident that we'll get this done. He didn't see any major hurdles into it. So he has gone ahead and started some of the processes to not fall behind, since we're a little behind on the EDA. So he has, his architect is now working on official drawings now, and he's doing some of the due diligence work that we were kind of waiting on. He's going to go ahead and move forward on that. So we'll see. I don't anticipate a lot happening over the next 2 weeks, so it'll probably be just our next regular meeting that we bring that back to you. But again, that shouldn't delay the project at all. He's continuing to move forward, and assuming we hash out these last few issues, we should be fine moving forward. Out at Founders Square, we're just waiting. It should be the first or second week of January. There was the drainage issue along Crawfordsville Road. That pipe should be in as soon as it is. Atlas is going to come out and install that new piping to fix that drainage issue. We won't actually pave the remainder of the road till the spring at this time, but that's okay. We're kind of using that Crawfordsville Road stretch as a construction entrance at this point. So Crown Castle has been upgrading that tower with T-Mobile 5G, and the grocery store project, which hopefully we'll be able to announce any moment now, we're really close, is actually starting. They have their erosion control up and are starting to do some site work out there. So I hope we'll be able to announce it before it's actually built, but we'll see. In addition, Crew Car Wash is moving along, and we are working on site work with the engineers on the hotel as well. So a lot of exciting things out there, and we should see some activity on building that isn't ours coming here real soon, which feels really good. A lot of our remaining time, we spent a lot of time and effort here the last couple months, and will in the next couple months on the new town hall. It's coming along nicely. We're kind of at that checklist point where you're seeing changes every day and things you might not have caught on the prints, or the final decisions that have to be made, furniture and exterior issues and things that might not have worked out how they did on the plan. So spent a lot of time over there, but we're making sure that we get the product that the town wanted and that the taxpayers expect. And I think we're all going to be really pleased with it when it's all done. And it's going to be a really fantastic facility, so worth the time and effort. And I, for one, am very excited to move into it. So we'll keep you posted. It's still on track. They still have a lot of site work to do. They're doing a lot of concrete right now. They're doing the brickwork. But we're still hopefully being able to turn that building over here in mid-January. And so we'll let you know if that changes. Beyond that, just a couple other things. We're going to be, like I said, in January, TIF Restatement. We'll put the bidding out for our parking lots that we're looking to do. Again, we'd like to have, there's going to be some approvals we need from the Board of Zoning Appeals to make sure we're in compliance. So we'll be going through that process, but we'll go ahead and get the bidding process started so we can get on people's calendars. We want to have all that done prior to May, if possible, so that those are up and operational for race time, with the hope that we have a normal race schedule in 2021. We'll also be starting our municipal facilities evaluation as well, and then 10th and Castle work. I had a call with Allison Transmission. They're still on target to do work on 10th Street with the sidewalks and the power lines in early 2021, and we're going to coordinate improvements to the 10th and Castle intersection at the same time.
Tim, just a question. Is there plans there on the Founders Square, there at the high school road at the entrance there by the restaurant? Is there plans to come back to repave any of that, or is that set?
Are you talking
So
where
going
25th comes
northbound, if you're
in?
going northbound on High School there, and you kind of go through that light, the new light there.
Yes.
Because I can tell you, you get on that right-hand lane, there's a drain there, and if you hit it, there's a,
Oh, so you're talking on High School
on
Road.
High School Road, you feel it. And I notice that because that's my drive every day, and so.
Is that northbound or southbound?
Going northbound, the far right-hand lane. right there before you get to Schoolwood, there's a drainage, and so I didn't know, again, if that was still work to be done there.
There was no work on, especially on that right lane,
Okay.
that was part of this project, but I will talk to Rob Wetnight,
Okay.
our director of, streets, and
Yeah, if
see
you
what we
don't
can
make
do
that
for
right
that.
in turn on the 25th and you keep going straight, you try to avoid it, and then you're kind of getting
Yeah.
that left lane there.
Yeah, I'll talk to Rob and see if we can't take a look at that. One other mention, we have gotten a couple, I won't call them complaints, but resident calls making us aware that the timing, if you're on 25th turning southbound, is pretty short.
Yes.
We have reached out to our contractor to take a look at that, and we'll try. It isn't a dynamic light, so it does talk to Crawfordsville and Lyndhurst, or Crawfordville and High School. So it'll adjust based on traffic flows. So sometimes it'll be a little longer, sometimes it'll be shorter based on traffic and stacking. However, it does appear, because I've heard it multiple times now, that it is pretty short. So
Yeah,
we're
I
going
think
to take a
the other day
look
We
at
got
that.
about 3 cars through it at one point.
Yeah.
Going that way. I go farther north and kind of come up Hickorywood or someplace and work my way down High School to avoid that light, because I feel like a whole lot of cars get through there.
Yeah, so we're gonna take a look at that, and that's just a little bit of having a new light and needing to work out the logistics to it, so,
Awesome. Thank you, Tim.
all right.
Any additional questions for Mr. Grob? Hearing none, appreciate your director's report. Let's move on to items of new business. Resolution 2020-06, a resolution concerning the acquisition of real property.
Yeah, so another property in the same, the Crawfordsville and Lyndhurst area has potentially come up for sale. We're discussing with the owner. This is the first step in the process to be able to look at any property acquisition, which is the Redevelopment Commission authorizing the director to make an offer after the average of no more than the average of 2 appraisals once received.
Does anyone have any questions? I'll entertain a motion for Resolution 2020-06.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2020-06, the resolution concerning the acquisition of real property, 5240 Crawfordsville Road.
I'll second.
Thank you. We'll take a roll call vote. Jennifer Miller,
Approve.
Rhonda Schwartz,
Approve.
Gordon Rundle,
Approved.
Barry Gardner.
Approve?
I also approve. Motion passes 5-0.
I'll keep you posted. We have one appraisal already up, and we're expecting the second one next week, so
Very
we'll
good.
most likely sit down with the owner in early 2021. It's gonna be a busy January.
Second item under new business, the first amendment to the purchase agreement for 10th and Allison Way. It says here in parentheses, reapproved due to minor changes.
Yeah, so we had approved this back in September, I believe. I went back and looked at it. This is in regards to the small parcel at Allison Way and 10th Street. We were getting that approved, putting all the exhibits together. We've been working through the process of creating that parcel. And the very first page didn't line up with all the other documents. So there was a weird situation where the redevelopment commission was the seller on the project, but for whatever reason in the title work, the redevelopment authority got involved. And so they both signed off on that, but we didn't necessarily need them on the first page. So all this really did was define the Speedway Department of Redevelopment as the actual seller. And then we had the redevelopment authority release what was the right of reversion, but the requested right of first refusal, we just want to go to the Speedway Redevelopment Commission. So everything now lines up in the exhibits. They were very minor changes. We documented the exact size of the parcel as well now that we have the legal description done and the survey done. So everything just lined up. It was enough that I wanted to bring it back and make sure that there were no concerns. And I know Allison Transmission also just wanted to make sure there were no hiccups down the road, because what we found in this time was all these documents that were put together, 5-6 years ago, those players are no longer here, so we're trying to interpret what the intent was, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen to the next people that might have to pull these out and dust them off and take a look. So everything lines up now. We're only changing the very first page, but we'll go ahead and have you re-sign it just to be safe.
Very good. Any questions in regards to that update? All right, hearing none, entertain a motion to approve the First Amendment to Purchase Agreement, 10th and Allison Way.
I'll make a motion to approve the First Amendment to Purchase Agreement at 10th and Allison Way.
Second.
Thank you. And roll call vote for that. Jennifer Miller?
Approve.
Rhonda Schwartz?
Approve.
Gordon Rundle?
Approve.
Barry Gardner?
Approve.
And I also approve. Motion passes 5-0. Look forward to that B&O trail going in there.
We're making progress. So
Absolutely.
it's exciting.
Absolutely. And final item, 2021 meeting dates.
Yeah, just a quick note on this. We don't normally put this together. The Redevelopment Commission is a standing meeting on the third Monday of every month at 6 p.m. We always have a conflict in January due to Martin Luther King Day. So we always switch that over to the Tuesday. We could bump it to whenever. We always just hold it on the Tuesday. And with a change in the holiday schedule for the town of Speedway due to no election days, we actually have a conflict in our February meeting as well. So that will be the Tuesday, the third Tuesday instead of a Monday. Everything else should be third Monday of the month. And at this time, the schedule is that the meetings are here at what we are now referring to as Old Town Hall. We do not know exactly, depending on ADA accessibility and the turnover of New Town Hall, we're not sure when we'll start public meetings over there. So at some point, it'll transfer from this building over to the new building, and we will make sure that all the public are fully aware of which facility we're in.
Perfect. Any questions in regards to that update? All right, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the 2021 meeting dates.
Mr. President, I make a motion, we approve the 2021 meeting dates.
And second,
I'll second.
roll call vote for the approval of the 2021 meeting dates. Jennifer Miller?
Approve.
Rhonda Schwartz?
Approve.
Gordon Rundle?
Approve.
Barry?
Approve.
And I approve. Motion passes 5-0. We're set up and ready to go for 2021. Hopefully, we're all back here.
Absolutely.
Going to item number 8 on the agenda, old business.
I have none this evening.
Perfect. Any additional questions or comments from anyone here? Anyone joining us on Zoom? Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all those good things.
Absolutely.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
We'll end the meeting with consent. Thank you for joining us.